Got my hair looking good today, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
it's not aliens, but aliens.
Like, whoa, man.
Yeah, that's the ancient aliens guy.
So this thingamajigger right here is our fuel cell.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we checked how much fluid it held yesterday when we were checking for leaks. It was right at 7 gallons. So we wanted to be around that range, 7 to 8 gallons. It's pretty basic. It's just a front mount for us that fits real nice and tight in the front passenger area of the bumper. We got this fitting right here. Well, actually, be for our prime pump. So that guy would mount there. And got our prime pump, we've got our check valve, that way it can't backflow. This is actually a fuel level sensor that works with like a water and fuel sensor, that type, where it's got 2 electrodes, and then whenever there's fluid running across it, it creates a connection. So whenever fluid isn't touching it, it opens the connection and turns on a low fuel light. This little guy right here, this bracket, mounts. And this makes it easy for us to also reach it through the wheel well to change our fuel filter, clean it. So the prime pump will actually feed directly into this side of the filter on the inlet. So it just comes straight in, nice short line. And then this will come from our mechanical pump driven by the crank, which this fuel cell mounts in here, and our pump is on the front of the engine right here. So the feed line from the pump to the filter is another short line, and then the suction side of the pump is down here, and that fitting, which is on the tank, is about right here. So we're dealing with short line, short line, short line. From the filter on the outlet side, we'll be going to this Y that goes to our fuel rails. And then on the back of the fuel rail, we have our regulator mounted, which we'll show that in a second. And how that's going to work is this is the suction side that will go to the mechanical pump. This is our return. And inside of here, there's a baffle here that's almost like an L that runs almost the full length of the tank and about this high. So that way it's a internal sump. Once fuel's in there, it keeps it in there. And then there's another baffle right here. So having our return come in on the front, it's gonna push the fuel towards the feed side, the suction side. This actually up here is gonna be, this is just our vent. So on a fuel system that runs this much fuel, the pump can create 14 gallons a minute of flow. So if you're using a dash 16 on the suction side, which is massive, you want to have the same on your vent side, because if you can pull that much through, you have to be able to vent that much as well, or else you're going to create a suction in the tank, cavitate your mechanical pump, collapse the tank, stuff like that. So that's why that vent is so large. And then of course our fill, which our fill neck is just sits right here. So it's nice, easy to get to, but also out of the way and not gonna get hit by anything, and just clean. I didn't want to run a return line or 2 return lines, or one with a bridge all the way to the front, and have a line that was pressurized with 100 psi that long. So what I came up with was hard mounting the regulator on the passenger side, and then we've got a braided section on this side. So these will be pressurized, and then our return comes out underneath, goes underneath the intake manifold and goes to the fuel cell. And our reference line for the boost to the regulator is nice and short, right into the back of the manifold. This season we're going over to all braided line for CO2, for boost reference, stuff like that. Just because we used to run the push lock line, it works, but it is prone to, if it's near anything hot, deforming, melting. We use the extra thick wall stuff, so we don't normally have that issue, and we put protectant around it. But this is just extra peace of mind, extra security. Don't ever have to worry about this, melting or bursting. It'll hold everything we throw at it as far as boost wise. So just one less thing to worry about in a car full of worries. That's pretty much it for the fuel system. Our smart coils, we've relocated them behind the strut towers with the Maven Performance relocation brackets. Nice pieces. Cleans it up. Don't have coils sitting on top of the valve covers and making it, any harder to get to the spark plugs to change them. We made a custom coolant reservoir because during the wreck we damaged our factory one, which was plastic. So we've got that, and it tucks back there all nice and clean. And then on this side, right now, this is just what we call a template plate. It's just like a particle PVC board, really easy to trim and form. We run a large Moroso catch can, and this will be mounting against the firewall. Each valve cover will have a fitting in, and then here we run a vent on our valley cover. That's a -16 that runs and will go over to the other side of the catch can. The methanol, we build a lot of moisture more than anything. So as the car warms up, it steams it all out and it all goes to the catch can. So we check catch can every pass, and most of the time what we find is just maybe like a few ounces of water just built up in the catch can, and we drain that out. Just common stuff with methanol vehicles. Other than that, everything else is pretty much buttoned up. We're getting there.
Almost there.
Almost there. We got a few small odds and ends, like rerouting some CO2 lines. We've finally got the parachute mount on and the new parachute packed in. So now we can reset everything on the rear end and bumper. But this is the new chute setup with the CO2 launcher, and it clears the trunk. So no need to remove it to clear the trunk. You just got to put an air fitting in there and route the air line. And then now we've also got a quick connect for our tow vehicle. So pretty excited to see how that works out. On the McLaren, it was just a reflash. Well, we got rid of the cats too. Yeah, we did an episode on getting rid of the catalytic converters and the downpipes. So we got rid of the cats. We did a complete reflash, which was quite an adventure because you have to physically pull that ECU out. You have to open it up, probe the circuit board, and flash it and hope nothing comes loose in the process. And it's a pretty expensive computer just to be probing around in. We used a K-tag unit for the reflash and used WinOLS to edit the file, the ECU bin. And now the car doesn't feel like it hits a wall.
God, we hit 200. There's no fucking way.
We need y'all to like, subscribe, share, and all that cool shit. Try to help us out. If not, you can go fuck yourself.